Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy iBelvee here. Today we're going to be looking at the Leadjoy M1 controller. I'm not sure on the company name if it's Leadjoy or Leadjoy, but for this video we're going to stick with Leadjoy as I think that sounds more appropriate. So let's go ahead and dive into the unboxing of this video here. Alrighty, so we're just going to pull up my handy dandy iFixit slicing tool. This isn't a slicing tool, by the way. I don't know what this is. This is a more of a prying tool when opening up like iPhones and things. But for this video, for most of my unboxings, this works really good as an unboxing knife. So the main thing about this controller is that this is actually has a special feature that makes the price just a little bit over the that $50 price range that we've kind of been around looking, doing videos and things like that. So I did want to call that out. This one just a little bit more expensive, more in the $80 range, and also there is an accessory that you can get with it to help cool the device while you're playing games. But Leadjoy actually has a regular controller just like this. Let me take this foam out of here. Hopefully I'm getting all this. They do have another controller that is that doesn't have this magnetic plate back here. This is what allows for cooling, but they do have a controller that's basically, it looks like a backbone one. I mean, you can tell with this style it looks like a backbone one, but with the $50 one that they do sell on Amazon, they don't have this cooling plate. This cooling plate adds an extra like 20-30 bucks to the controller itself. So just looking at the controller overall, we got little tools here. I'm not sure what that is for, and a little bit of a manual that shows you how to work the device. Alrighty, so overall, the controller looks and feels kind of like that backbone. To be honest, let me actually grab that one. I can show you a comparison side by side of the two, because this design is very, very backbone like. Alrighty, so here is the backbone one controller here, and this is going to be, yeah, these sticks feel similar to the backbone. That switch style when it comes to your, like, the movement, the range that you have within these sticks isn't as great as like an Xbox or a PlayStation controller, but it does the trick. D-pad feels pretty good. Home button, menu button, I'm guessing this is capture. So doesn't look like we have any turbo buttons. This thing is picking up fingerprints on the back already. Does have that texture grip on the back though. Not sure if you can see that here. Just for a little bit more, so you can have a better grip. Kind of extends out, and we have that metal plate in the back for cooling. Overall, this triggers in the back feel okay. The bumpers feel great. Triggers in the back, they feel okay. There's a little bit more travel in the triggers compared to the backbone, so that can be somewhat of an issue. I'm not sure if they're using any kind of mechanical. That's what I'm sure they're using mechanical. And if not, if they are using Hall effect, that'd be great. I know on the actual sticks, they did claim that they are using Hall effect sticks on those, so that is also amazing to hear. Just another controller using that Hall effect. Side note, when a long time ago, about a year ago, I had to replace my backbone one due to Joy-Con drift. So that's just another thing that that can happen when you have, those old school style controllers with movable parts, but with Hall effect and those magnetic sensors, kind of don't have to worry about that. Alrighty here. So let's close that box here and get that box out of the way. The big thing that that this controller has, obviously, is this magnetic plate in the back here that allows for you to cool your phone. So what we're actually going to do in this whole video, we actually have a magnetic cooler that I purchased as well. This is going to be from Black Shark. Ever since the iPhone 12 launched with that MagSafe charging, capabilities and things like that, where you just pop it on in the back, and that is nice little magnet there. And then it kind of just pops on. Boom, there you go. Now you have this tied to the back of your, this is a strong, that is a strong magnet right there. All right, that is good to know. So, but yeah, for this, it is going to cool your phone. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be testing this out using my iPhone 11, and the iPhone 11 does not have MagSafe capabilities. So we're going to see how well that actually works. And if it doesn't work too well, I'm just going to have to borrow another phone and see how that works when actually using MagSafe. But I think for this video, it's going to be fine. As the MagSafe, the part that really matters is that it's on the controller itself. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is it's still going to cool the controller over here on this magnetic plate side to actually cool the phone while I'm playing games. So we'll see the readings on the heat gun that I have just to check out to see how hot that gets. But this is pretty much how the setup would look. Now, the main thing about the magnetic coolers, even from Black Shark to, I think Razer has one for about $60. They do have to be plugged in at all times for the fan to actually work. So keep that in mind, that you won't be as mobile when you want to actually cool your device down while playing those intense games, to avoid your screen dimming and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This thing kind of sits up and sits pretty well with the magnetic charger on the back. Leadjoy did say that this should be compatible with multiple magnetic controllers or magnetic devices. So there's a few in the market already, but this should work with most of them. But we are going to, like I said, test all that out. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Hey, it's Editor Belvee here, and what I wanted to do is actually look at the website itself. It took me a while to find it. This is a strange URL. I've never seen a .top address for a website, but was able to find it and actually found that this controller is $129 retail. That's the original price that the company has set this controller for. So I wanted to kind of clarify that this does knock it out of that category of under $100. And then on top of that, this doesn't come with a fan, so you have to buy a fan to add it on there. So then you're looking at possibly 150, 160 on that. Throughout the video, you're not gonna see that. I'll probably reference it being like $80. I did get it at $80 from eBay, I believe, but you can also get it on Amazon. So if you are interested in this controller, I would suggest to wait to find somewhere to get it at a good discount, because that's $129 for something that, if you guys already saw in the unboxing, you didn't see a headphone jack in there, but it's kind of expensive. But there is one more thing I wanted to show you guys on their website, and this seems to be brand new, but there is a USB-C version, and you can look at the controller itself. You can see that these are the PlayStation icons. So there is a PlayStation variant of this controller that recently launched, which is great. Also comes with the magnetic cooling, which is also great. I don't understand the price. It's possible that maybe they price it this way without showing that it's been discounted, to kind of give Backbone some kind of competition in that space. But it's a little weird that this is basically the same controller, just a USB-C version, USB-C PlayStation version of it at $70. So wanted to call that out. If you are, if you have an Android and want to use this, then yeah, this works with Android. And if you have an iPhone 15 Pro or just a regular iPhone 15 with that USB-C port, now you can actually use this, especially if you're, a PlayStation user. So wanted to call that out, just a couple of things, and we'll get back to the video. Also, I think I pointed out that the regular controller that doesn't come with the magnetic cooler, little magnetic plate cooler, was $50 on Amazon. Currently, I think it's at $69.99. You might be able to find it lower in other places, but original cost of this device is the same as the Backbone one. So that's also another weird thing, because the newer controller that they have is $69.99, and this without a magnetic cooler is going to be at $100. So it's really, it's weird that they priced it that way for that new PlayStation model. Yeah, I don't know. This video is going to be long. Sorry about that. Let's get back to it. Alrighty, so before we get started with this test, what we're going to do is get like a good baseline on how hot or how normal temperature the phone actually is. So let me go ahead and just use this and point it at the device, and we should get a good reading on it. So we're in the 70s for the most part. Alrighty, so got that. It's gonna, be at a high 77, but mostly staying in that 75, 76 range in terms of its temperature. So let's go ahead and plug this phone in and run a test to see how hot we can get this phone running Genshin Impact on pretty much all high settings overall. Alrighty, so we have the phone plugged in here, just giving a look while we're downloading the majority of the Genshin Impact additional download, which is about 23 gigabytes. Had to uninstall some games just to get this to fit on here on the 64 gigabyte iPhone. Let's go ahead and just, I wanted to point something out while we're just waiting for this to download. The light indicator on here, which is normal, what you see on controllers. I did notice that for one, it is around the menu button, which is an odd choice for this to be. I normally see it on the home button, which is right here, and it's a lot smaller to press, but it is around the menu button, which, like I said, it's an odd choice, not gonna lie. It feels a little different. It feels like it probably should have been around the home button, or maybe the home button should just be here, but that is one thing that I did notice. The second thing is that with a few of these controllers in the past, when I charge them using the pass-through charger, normally I see a different indicator, or they have like little two light indicators like on the side where you can tell like, hey, it's plugged in, and then the second one on the bottom is saying, hey, it's charging with this. You don't really have that, so you just have to rely on, just swiping down and making sure that, hey, I am charging my phone, or you feel that vibration once you plug in your device. But a couple of things that I just wanted to point out while we wait for this to download. And once we get this going, what we're going to do is a test to see how hot the phone gets without the fan in the back. Currently, I don't have it on. So we'll do like a 30-minute run playing the game, and then we'll get back to it and do a test to see how hot it is. So let's get that done. Alrighty, so it's been about 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is actually pop this out of the controller and kind of warm to the touch on the sides here, and we're actually just going to place it down here to see what we get on our scanner. Let me move that up a little bit. So we're looking at 105, 106. Kind of move it around, find that hot point. 104. Something around, that middle section here is where it kind of gets warm. So it's going to be right around there. So the hottest that we did see on here is about 106. And what we're going to do now is switch over to using the fan. We're actually going to let the phone cool off and get back down to its kind of average temperature, and then we will put the fan on the controller and use the controller with Genshin Impact for 30 minutes. So let's get down to it. So it's been about 30 minutes or so. So we're just going to go ahead and turn this on this back. Go ahead and disconnect this fan that's running. and take the magnet off. Take this off, and we're gonna see how hot this is, even though we had the fan running. So let's go ahead and actually, let me just close out the application or get out of there and put it over here so we can get just a good view. Okay, by the looks of it, the temperatures are a lot lower than than they were when we didn't have the fan on. We're getting around with the highest is about 91 degrees compared to like what was it, 107? So that's a good sign that this controller is doing what it's advertised to do. After using the controller for a few weeks, I can say it's a good controller. At first, I didn't like how far I needed to press the trigger down, but when actually using it in FPS games, I noticed that you don't actually need to fully press down for it to register. So that was a good thing. And after my testing, I actually found that there is a turbo button on here. You have to do a little trick to it where you hold down your trigger or hold down whatever button you want to press, and then press the capture button for a few seconds. Press and hold both of those buttons, and then you should be able to get the desired turbo function where it's kind of being pressed automatically without you having to press the button. And the addition of being able to add a fan to help reduce some of those temperatures is great to have, especially if you plan on long gaming sessions. But keep in mind that you are going to be tied down with the charger, and also you are adding more weight to the controller, because once you include the fan to the controller that's also holding your phone, you'll feel the extra weight. But it's not too distracting. But if you don't really care about a fan, there's also a cheaper version online that you can get that doesn't include the magnetic plate. All the buttons on the controller are great, clicky, lots of feedback, not that much travel, and the 4 face buttons seem to have less travel than any other mobile controller I've reviewed. Actually, compared to the rest of the buttons, the main face buttons stick up further than all the other buttons on this controller. It took me a while to get used to it, but eventually I did. But I did enjoy the fact that these are just a little bit larger than the Backbone one. So I was kind of willing to go through that process of getting used to something like this. But just like the Backbone one, these joysticks use the same style, so you may not like that. But that's going to be it for the video. I've got more reviews to do, more games to play. You guys stay wild. I'll see you soon.